Howdy folks, welcome back to yet another review. This time, we'll be asked to test our might and enter into the realm of Outworld, because this time, I'm reviewing the 1995 martial arts fantasy film, Mortal Kombat. Now, you might be wondering, why exactly am I reviewing the 1995 Mortal Kombat and not, let's say, the more recent 2021 Mortal Kombat film? And to put it simply, it's because this Mortal Kombat is celebrating its 30-year anniversary in August, and I wanted to contribute to it by doing my own review of the film. I'm going to be looking at aspects such as the characters, effects, sets, fight scenes, and at the end, I'll decide whether or not this film is worth seeing. Many folks on the internet claim that this is one of the best video game adaptations out there, and I'm curious to see if that's true or not. To start, I'll be giving out some background information on this film, such as who directed it, wrote it, and produced it. After that, we'll get into the more substantial aspects, such as my own thoughts on the movie. Without further ado, let's get into it. As stated before, Mortal Kombat is a 1995 film that was directed by the Paul W.S. Anderson. For those who may not know this name, he's known for his film adaptations of Resident Evil primarily. You know, the films where he cast his own wife in the lead role and had her do all sorts of cool action stuff, while the original Resident Evil characters just kinda sat around and did nothing. He also directed Monster Hunter. You remember Monster Hunter, don't ya? Of course, I shouldn't dunk on him too much. He has done other films besides just video game adaptations, with probably his most notable work being Event Horizon. Well, it's notable if you're like me and have a love for both horror films and Dead Space. It should be noted that while Anderson did not write Event Horizon, or for our own purposes Mortal Kombat, he did write for all the Resident Evil films and Monster Hunter, showcasing where his true talents may reside. The writer for Mortal Kombat was Kevin Droney, who primarily wrote for TV shows. According to IMDb, Ed Boon and John Tobias, who are two of the original creators of Mortal Kombat, also helped contribute towards writing for the film, which is a welcome sight to see. It isn't every day that actual game creators are involved in the filmmaking process. The production companies for this film were New Line Cinema and Threshold Entertainment. I can easily tell that New Line Cinema helped in making this film, because there are some horror elements that the house that Freddy built are known for. There's also some not too good looking CGI that reminds me of the later Nightmare on Elm Street films. But we'll get more into that later. Mortal Kombat released on August 18th, 1995. It was made with an estimated budget of $20 million. It would go on to gross an estimated $122.2 million. This isn't too surprising, because Mortal Kombat released during a time where folks were absolutely enthralled by the IP. And while that enthusiasm may have waned a bit over time, the franchise is still fairly popular and well known to the public. Might be due to its infamous notoriety of being one of the main reasons that the ESRB was formed. But for folks who may be a bit squeamish around blood, guts, and gore, do not worry. This film is rated PG-13, and apparently during production they made sure to strictly adhere to MPAA guidelines to make sure that they kept this rating. After all, little Timmy loves Mortal Kombat, and it would be a shame if his parents wouldn't let him see a film because it was rated R. Anyone remember when R-rated franchises had their own cartoons and toy lines aimed towards children? Mortal Kombat was no different. But anyways, I'm getting off track here. With all of that bonus info accounted for, let's get into the film's story, shall we? Well, according to IMDb's synopsis, the film is about how three martial artists are forced to battle demonic adversaries in another dimension with the fate of the world hanging in the balance. And for the most part, I would agree with that statement. Without giving much away, the film starts with three different perspectives that belong to our main characters, Liu Kang, Sonya Blade, and Johnny Cage, All three are manipulated in some way by an evil sorcerer named Shang Tsung into coming to his island, where they must combat fearsome foes and strange creatures for the fate of the Earth as we know it, in a tournament known as Mortal Kombat. Can this ragtag group of fighters work together to save our world, or will they fall and bring us all down with them? The only way to find out is to watch the film. So, I have a few thoughts on the story. Overall, I think it's pretty serviceable. Mortal Kombat as a franchise did have a story before this film came out, but it was mostly just window dressing and served to give a vague reason as to why characters fought in a tournament. In this film, however, characters are much more fleshed out. Well, at least our three protagonists are. Everyone else isn't given much time to really be elaborated upon, as the film moves by at a pretty quick pace, not wanting to waste time so that way it can get straight to the action. The film is only 101 minutes long. When compared to modern films, that's pretty brief. At times, the story feels like it's missing pieces that should have been used to connect one scene to another. At one point, we agreed to fight after fight after fight. Which I mean, hey, I get it. This is a film about a tournament on a kung fu island. Gotta get those fights in. But at one point, Johnny Cage gets teleported to hell. And the next time we see him, he's just hanging around. Like, how did he get out of there? Did another portal open after he defeated Scorpion? We don't know. I don't know if we want to know. Because in this story, that doesn't matter. The characters themselves and their arcs are what matters. Again, it's like you should treat the overall story as window dressing. Don't look into it too deeply. This isn't a story about internal logic or consistency. There's a four-armed animatronic that punches people to death. There's a weird little CGI abomination that scurries around. There's a guy whose face is half metal. And there's an evil wizard who steals souls. While watching Mortal Kombat, it all clicked for me. This was like watching action figures punch each other. Remember when you were a kid and made up all sorts of weird stories just so you could make your Optimus Prime action figure suplex a Jurassic Park dinosaur toy that was half chewed on? That's the essence of Mortal Kombat. And no matter how much grander they tried to make it with the 2021 version, the 1995 version realized that the true heart of the franchise is camp. There is no arcana. No one magically gains plot armor here. It's just guys and gals punching and kicking as techno music plays in the background. And I loved it. Just like I love the characters in this film. For this movie, you'll be seeing the entirety of the Mortal Kombat cast from the first game, and maybe a few from the second. My personal favorite of the main trio, and most likely the favorite of the audience, was Johnny Cage, who was played by Lyndon Ashby. Ashby's portrayal of the character is great. He's a smarmy Hollywood celebrity who over time learns responsibility and to let go of his ego. It's interesting to see how this take on the character would most likely go on to inspire Johnny Cage in later Mortal Kombat games. And then you have the character who I would define as our primary protagonist, Liu Kang. Liu Kang is played by Robin Shaw. Liu Kang is also a really great character. He's determined to get revenge on Shang Tsung for the murder of his brother, but over time learns that there is more to defeating your opponent than just pure vengeance. It's just a really powerful message that this character radiates. Finally, for the main trio, you have Sonya Blade, who is played by Bridget Wilson. Sonya is a soldier who is searching for the man who killed her partner. Along the way, she learns that she cannot do everything on her own. Sort of. Out of the main three, Sonya is given the least to do, having only one fight in the entire film, and then later being relegated to a damsel in distress role. Which was a huge shame because she was pretty engaging when she was on screen. And it's also a shame to see her reduced so much in terms of overall prominence. Besides these three, there are other wacky and out there characters. A personal fan favorite for many is Kano, who was played by the late Trevor Goddard. He was fun, but ultimately felt rather wasted in terms of potential. It's a shame too because he had the metal eye but never shot a single laser beam. I should also make a special mention of Christopher Lambert and Kari Hiroyuki Tagawa, who play Raiden and Shang Tsung. Lambert makes for a fun mentor figure as Raiden, but ultimately doesn't do much, while Tagawa absolutely chews the scenery. He was my favorite actor overall in the film, and I was so glad when they brought him back to play Shang Tsung in Mortal Kombat 11. So yeah, those are most of the characters, and overall I think they were pretty great. But how about their fighting skills? For the fight scenes in this film, I hope you like slow motion, because it's used a decent amount. Action is usually frenetic and energetic, but then suddenly goes slow-mo whenever a hit is caused that needs more emphasis. Don't expect plenty of blood from these fights, which again is due to the strict adherence of the MPAA. The fight coordinator for this film, Pat E. Johnson, had previously worked on films such as Enter the Dragon and The Karate Kid. Joining him to help direct the fight choreography was the aforementioned Robert Shaw, who had a history as a stuntman in Hong Kong. According to Wikipedia, one of Robin's main contributions to the film was wire work, which made it one of the first films in Hollywood to use a technique that was commonly used in Hong Kong films. Fascinating stuff. In fact, I'd say for the most part the practical effects were all pretty good, because there was really only one real effect that needed to be made practically, and that was Goro. The $1 million animatronic was puppeted by 13 to 16 people and had continually broken down on set. Because of this, you don't see Goro much in the film, which is a shame because he's one of my favorite animatronics ever used in a film. The other notable effects used in this film is the CGI, which was not very good. To be fair, it was 1995, and they only had a budget of $20 million. But man, looking at Reptile is rough, and some of those soul-sucking scenes suck in a different sense. But hey, it still wasn't enough to detract from the overall film, so that's good. Up next, the sets. For this film, a considerable amount of sets were used, and they are interesting to me. Some, like this dining room set, are fine, while others are just absolutely covered in statues and gargoyles. It was like a Spirit Halloween was having a sale on fake statues, and the production crew just went ham on the spending. But still, it isn't really all that bad. Overall, I think the sets worked for the kind of film they were wanting to make. Finally, we have the music. The score for this film was composed by George S. Clinton, and I personally thought it was good. It has bits of orchestral arrangements, techno, and even some rock and heavy metal inspired tunes. There's also the now famous Mortal Kombat theme that was used in this film, which was made by Oliver Adams and performed by a duo known as the Immortals. The song's name is Techno Syndrome for those wanting to get their Mortal Kombat fix. Overall, would I recommend Mortal Kombat 1995? And my answer is maybe. It isn't a very well written film, and some of the effects are subpar and a bit cheesy, but the acting is fun and the fights are interesting. Mortal Kombat scratches that itch for those who are looking for one of those quintessential 90s films. It's got a lot of heart in it, and it's interesting to see how this film, close to 30 years later, continues to influence the very game franchise it spawned from. So, if you're bored one Friday night and got nothing better to do, I say call some friends over, get yourselves some pizza, and strap in for a martial arts film that's all about style over substance. Just be sure to hide your sunglasses. Don't want anything bad to happen to them. Howdy folks, thank you so much for watching this video. It feels good to be producing more content again. I know I was probably a bit wordy with this review, but that's because I'm a bit of a fan of the Mortal Kombat franchise. Not enough to buy Mortal Kombat 1, mind you, but enough of a fan to appreciate what the series has to offer. So, what did you think? Have you seen Mortal Kombat 1995 before? If so, what did you think of it? Did you like it or hate it? If you haven't seen it, are you interested in seeing it now? Let me know down in the comments below. And if you like this video, please feel free to click the like button. And if you really liked my content, please feel free to subscribe to the channel so you'll stay notified of when my next review goes up. I got something exciting I want to talk about next time. With all that said, I hope you all have a wonderful day.
Much has changed since the last Mortal Kombat tournament. Dark forces of Outworld have begun invading the Earth realm. These attacks are seriously weakening Earth's dimensional fabric, enabling not only Outworlders to enter the Earth realm, but warriors from other domains as well. Only the most extraordinary warriors could possibly meet this challenge. Liu Kang, Princess Kitana, Sub-Zero, Jax, Sonya Blade, Nightwolf, Kiva, Curtis Stryker. Driven by purpose and bound by honor, these are the defenders of the realm.